What you'll hear now associated with the Common Core are a series of shifts, or I like to think of them as just the headlines. You know, what's the bottom line? What will these new standards bring in both English language arts and mathematics, but also across disciplines? So some of those major headlines are the following. In English language arts, we talk about the move to promote much more nonfiction, both reading and writing. So students reading a wide range of informational texts, but then also developing expository arguments themselves, supporting claims with evidence in the text. Not that we haven't valued that up to this point, but you'll just see that's a very heavy emphasis. Academic vocabulary. The buzzword would be discipline-specific vocabulary. So students learning, even from the earliest ages, specific terminology that's associated, whether it's with science, with the arts, etc. In math, we're hearing a lot about fewer topics. It's depth over breadth, so fewer topics but much more depth. Real emphasis on problem solving, but also on integration and application. So students integrating science, technology, engineering, and mathematics skills in order to attack and solve real-world problems. Those are some of the headlines that you'll hear associated with the Common Core. We've been following this trend even before New York State adopted the Common Core. We've been district leaders, administrators, our coordinators, coaches, etc. We've all been following this. We're very connected to our regional networks through our BOCES and other professional organizations. So by the time New York State adopted the Common Core, we were already fairly well versed, and then the process of curriculum alignment began right away. Those of us in district leadership positions, it's always our mission to figure out how do we take these mandates that come from above, whether it's Albany, whether it's at the federal level, and make them meaningful and substantial here in Mamaroneck classrooms. And I think there are many opportunities within the Common Core to do that. So for example, just this emphasis on nonfiction that I mentioned, for years we have been trying to flood our classrooms with the most compelling and engaging nonfiction texts, really sparking curiosity and wonder. I'll show some examples of that at the meeting. This emphasis on text evidence is what goes on in classrooms here at the high school, where kids are pushed by their teachers or each other to support their claims by digging into these books that they're reading. So I think that I really think that the shifts that I mentioned earlier are positive shifts. They're not entirely new to us here in Mamaroneck, but they help sort of renew our commitment to things that are that are solid and very much in keeping with our values. Some really exciting work I mentioned before, the STEM, the integration of science, technology, engineering, and math. We've had pairs of science and math teachers from both Homix and the high school active in a regional workshops where pairs of teachers together plan integrated math and science lessons that are very hands-on, very inquiry-based. So I think there are many, many opportunities. I think when we look at the student work, we really see, as parents have an occasion to do, and work that's posted in the hallways and in bulletin boards, I think it looks more vibrant than ever. We know behind the scenes that that work reflects these discrete concepts and skills that we're mapping, but that's not what jumps out at you when you walk into a district classroom. There really is extensive professional development that's required, because in some cases, and parents will see examples at the elementary level at the meeting of this is the pre-existing type of math problem kids would have solved, and now look at how the ante is upped with the Common Core. So there's no doubt that we need to provide extensive professional development, and we're very fortunate that over time we have, number one, created these coaching positions at the elementary and middle school level, and that we have department chairs at both Homix and the high school. So we have in-house staff developers who are, poised and have been supporting teachers in making these shifts. So that's number one. I mentioned that we've been very active in our tapping into our regional resources. Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES Curriculum Council is just a fabulous mothership where they keep us very informed with, with the latest news from Albany and help us translate those, the mandates into classroom practice. So I think as high as the expectations are, which they are indeed high, I think Mamaroneck teachers are well supported in meeting the Common Core.